Hi, I'm Don.
I'm Claudia.
Where are we?
We're at Mount Lassen National Park today.
And this is another interview we have with two really neat special people we met. Their names are
Doug and Michelle Orr, and they had a beautiful 1953 restored Airstream.
Let's begin the interview.
Let's see it.
And we are,
Short trailer.
and we're here today to interview a couple that we've just met that also have a really neat Airstream. So part of what we want to do is introduce you to them and let you know the story about their Airstream. We found it fascinating. So let me start off with you first.
Yes.
My understanding is you're the one who bumped into this thing. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I was working outside of Boston. I was covering for a coworker who was out of town and said, "Can you go help me with a customer?" And I got completely lost. As I was going down a country road, I saw a bunch of old vintage stuff in a barn in a farm, and curiosity got the cat, and I turned the car around and figured I was already late for where I was supposed to be. It was lunch, so I'll go poke around. Couldn't find anybody in the driveway, in the barn. It was an open barn. So I opened the gate, high heels, skirt, hopping around.
Obviously no dogs.
Well, and I said, hello, is anybody here? And out pops this man, and he says, "What are you doing on my land?" And I said, "Well, I saw you were doing cool stuff, so I just wondered if you'd showed me what you're doing." And he goes, "Well, help me find my dog." I hadn't thought about a dog.
Oh,
and then all of a sudden, Rottweilers and scary dogs popped into my head.
Sure.
Not that all Rottweilers are scary. And it was a miniature dachshund. So,
How perfect.
Scary
so
creature.
Dick showed me, Dick and Shirley showed me what they were doing. And then Dick says, "You really like old stuff?" And I said, "Yeah, we restored a 72 Shasta, low flight." And he said, "Back over there, I've got something really cool. Do you want to see it?" And I was a little nervous. I was lost. Nobody knew where I was. I was with an elderly man that I didn't know, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre kept coming through.
But
my
he
head.
wasn't. But he wasn't carrying a gun, right?
Not that I could see.
Okay, all right. Go continue.
But we are in Texas.
Yeah, continue.
And,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, there's either something really cool back there in that barn, or I'm going to die. So let's go see what's cool.
Sure.
And we went back, and he opened the barn, and she was in there. And I've never been an Airstream person. I've never wanted an Airstream. But when I saw her, I literally was, "Holy cow." And he goes, "Baby girl, you haven't even seen the inside yet. Wait till you see the inside."
Yeah.
So he showed me the inside, and all I could think of is I wanted Doug to see it. I mean, it's a museum. It should be up in Indiana.
Okay. Now, you pointed to Doug, so that's a perfect lead-in. Doug, how did you respond to all of this?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought, it sounded like it was an interesting thing to look at. She was really excited about it.
Yeah.
I worked pretty close by.
So then
that
did you
area,
go
so-
look at it? Did she drag you there and you got to
Yeah,
look at
she
it?
called me at work. It was probably around lunch hour or in the afternoon.
Perfect.
So I just took off from work.
Oh,
So you went
20,
that day?
20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I was
So you
standing
didn't wait.
there, and I
It
said,
was
"This is
within
so
a half
cool.
hour of when she called.
This is so cool. Can I show my husband? This is like a museum."
Yeah.
And he said, "Sure." So I called him at work, which I happened to be near his office,
Okay. Yeah.
and went and drove
Well,
him
I
back.
don't know if you're willing to share this, but kind of like with our trailer in our situation, I think I told you I was out cleaning out from a trip we just returned. She'd been on YouTube.
eBay.
eBay, comes out sheepishly and standing there kind of going like, we know something's up. Yeah, right. And I said, "What is it?" And then she told me, and I said, "Well, let's go ahead and do it." So do you want to share that part of your personal thing of how you two dealt with it, or was it just kind of an easy decision?
Well, it wasn't for sale. It was just a museum.
Oh,
And he
okay.
got a
Yeah,
private showing.
it was more of just, "Hey, come look at this. This is so cool."
Okay.
And the more we talked to him, finally got to the point. I don't remember exactly how we progressed to that point.
Well, he just
But
said,
Dick basically said, "Would you like to buy it?"
yeah.
Yeah.
And we said,
Yeah.
"There's." So,
So-
where were we?
We were talking about the point where the two of you were talking together and somehow the decision began to come about, maybe she can be ours.
No, that never No. So Dick was just gracious enough to let Doug come into his personal property and look at it. And we were oohing and awing over it. And Dick just said, would you guys like to buy her?
Okay. So
He offered it, and there's no way we could ever afford it. Was immediately.
Yeah,
"Oh,
of course,
thank you."
right.
Yeah, we thought
Yeah.
we already have a little 67.
And we don't need another one.
Shasta
We have enough.
It's been redone, and
it's
we don't
perfect.
need a second trailer. So we assumed it'd be quite expensive.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
First reaction was.
So then you walked away, and then communication happened later, or
So then he said, well, what if I sell it to you for $25,000?
oh wow,
That's what we did too.
yes,
And
That is
Yes.
and what we had 2 children, and we just knew that we didn't have $25,000 sitting around.
no, yeah,
And
sure.
we said, oh, thank you, but there's still no way we could afford that. And he said, well, what if I help you sell your Shasta? And then he also said, what if you just pay me over time? And, oh, well, thank you, but no. So then we're driving back to work. I'm taking him back to work. It's dead quiet in the car.
Yes, there are those moments in life, aren't there?
Yeah, then I knew we were in trouble because she was thinking, maybe we could do this.
Yeah.
So I said, honey, so you said that it's our 25th wedding anniversary coming up, and you said it's silver, which we never talk about, what different anniversaries are, but he happened to say this.
Right.
the
Very
I know,
clever.
Very
I know,
You were
25th and
thinking
50th.
too, sir.
Gold and silver.
Yes,
That's the only two I know.
And he
You were
had said
thinking
this
too.
maybe 6 months before, and it just,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a way to justify this. And I said, you said 25 was silver, and that's a big silver thing, and it's $25,000, and that's $1,000 a year for the last 25 years we've been married. And basically it was
bargain.
like, Lucy, I was wondering how you were going to justify this.
Yeah.
Cheapest thing.
That's one of the downfalls of education. You learn how to rationalize.
I can rationalize a lot.
Right? Yeah.
So I, still realizing, we just weren't going to be able to pull this money together, called Dick and embarrassingly offered him less.
Good. No, that's important.
He jumped my shed to no end.
Oh.
Shame on you. Do you know how much I've been offered for this thing in the past?
Oh.
And how dare you? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
But in kind of a
Sounds like an interesting
kind
character
of a
he was.
gruff
But-
way about him, but playful too. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
not real aggressive,
Yeah, no,
but
thank you.
just just kind of making light of it.
Yeah, he's
in
lovely.
his gruff way. Yeah.
So now I have another question. You have referred to her as she, and I understand that, but why she? Now, why not he?
For me, growing up, my dad was a car guy,
Yes.
and I think it
They're all
just
girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's it.
That
There-
was.
there's
That's,
no other reason. It's
Yeah.
not like, so the name's changed a couple times, but on this trip we named it Tortuga.
oh, cool. Oh, I like it. I
So
like it. Yeah,
the van
that's
is
great.
Tor.
Yes.
And Tuga. It's not like I call the van he and she. It's
Just
No,
Tortuga.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I understand the car thing because we've been involved in antique cars, and it's just kind of things that
Yeah.
guys do.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure,
That's
okay.
just common. Yeah. That's-
Did your
trailers
Shasta,
and
did your
cars.
Shasta have a name? What was the name?
It did. That's
So-
got kind of an interesting story.
Oh my
too.
gosh, I loved her. I still do. Cinderella.
Oh,
Oh,
Which
very
is
nice,
so,
yes.
I'm not a girly girl.
Yeah.
But what happened was I bought her on eBay, sight unseen. We drove all the way to Nebraska. Do you know how far Nebraska is from Austin, Texas?
We do.
cool.
I
We
do.
We do.
It's a
We've
long way.
been there, done that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
I've grown up on
It's
the
a long haul.
beach my whole life. I forget about those interstates. Sorry, Kansas.
Yeah.
It's far.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got there, and my lovely daughter called, and she had seen pictures of it on the internet.
Yeah.
And she said, have you bought that ugly thing? And I'm standing in the parking lot giving the woman the money going, oh God, she is really ugly.
Yeah.
And I said to Allie, she's going to be pretty like Cinderella.
Yeah.
So then we brought her home. She was missing one of the moon caps. And
Yeah.
so the woman that bought it said, if I find it, I'll send it to you. So we fixed her up, and then we were taking her out to get a paint job, and one of the neighbors said, "Is she going to get her prom dress?" So once again, Cinderella. And then the final straw was Mary had emailed us the hubcap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doug came in the house with the box and said, "Here's Cinderella's shoe."
Here's
Oh.
here's
Oh,
the
how
slipper.
cool.
Slipper.
Yes, of
To
course.
finish it off.
Slipper.
Yes.
We had the paint
Slippers.
job. We just had
Slipper.
this, missing hubcap.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so we
Excellent.
called her Cindy, but
Cindy,
Cinderella.
sure,
Isn't
sure.
that great?
Okay.
That is great.
Yeah.
That is a great story.
Now, how
So
long
we
have
had
you
a-
had her?
No, that's
Oh,
had which? Cinderella, the Shasta, or
well, that could be some interesting stories too.
yeah, but the Airstream.
Let's talk about the Airstream for a
I
minute.
saw you nod this way.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, back to that 25th wedding anniversary thing.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's appropriate. Yes.
We, my very lovely little brother, who's 5 years younger than I am, I was telling him the story, and I said, "Yeah, so we bought it for our anniversary." Da 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 da. My brother said, "You haven't been married 25 years. This is not your 25th wedding anniversary."
Don't you understand rationalization?
And I'm like,
We
"What
were
do you
close,
mean?"
but
Yeah, we lost track somewhere in there. He goes,
Yeah.
"No, because Dylan was born here, and I was married here, or I was married. Dylan was born," and he clarified. So, how long we've had her was your question, and I don't think we can answer that because we can't even remember how long we've been married. So,
Oh, I understand that one.
4 to 5
We even
years,
minute.
maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We even miss our
5 years.
anniversaries. You know, it'll be a couple weeks later. Oh, geez, you know what we forgot?
Our
Yeah.
anniversary.
It gets that way.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay.
So do you?
Every day's an anniversary, right?
It is. Do you travel in your Airstream all the time or part time? What is it that you do? Or just vacation?
go ahead.
Well, I mean, this we haven't taken too many long trips. We've taken some trips from Austin, some long weekend kind of trips.
Okay.
But those are wonderful.
But those,
Yeah,
those are very
those are
fun.
great.
Very fun. But this is our first long trip, and it's
How long?
it's a long one.
How long?
It's 5 months.
Oh, 5
5
months.
months. Wow.
And
Yeah.
is-
We left June 1st.
Oh, you left June 1st. So this is what, you're about halfway through?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Roughly.
yeah, roughly.
We've lost track
a
of
little
time.
over halfway.
Yes.
Right.
Now, one of the things that often comes up when we talk to people who've been traveling for a while, when you first take off, it's vacation time. So you're rushing. Have you got past that point where you're taking a little slower time? Or how do you feel about the time as you travel now that you've been traveling for a longer time? Or has it affected you as far as how you look at your calendar of time?
We had such a
It's-
rough beginning.
Yeah. 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 We had kind of a shaky start.
You want to talk about that?
With, oh,
Maybe.
blowout.
You don't have to.
No,
no,
more
we-
blowouts. Oh,
Just,
yeah.
No, we.
A few days before we left, blowout.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tire.
Wait. No, the day
to
we
get-
were leaving, we were pulling away from the house. He was going to follow me. We were
Yeah.
heading out, leaving our house, and I got
Well,
to
the
the
day we
stop
left our house,
sign
Right.
that was from here to that tree,
Yeah.
and Doug realized the brakes aren't working properly.
Oh.
We had
Ah.
just gotten it out of the shop. So we
Oh.
hadn't even left, and she ended up going to the shop.
Right.
And then she had
Right,
Doug
we're back.
followed me, so we didn't get to leave. And she stayed there for a night. Then we went to pick her back up the next day. And I went to go to the next little town we were going to go to, just into Wimberley, where we were taking care of some stuff. And we had a blowout. So then my son had to drive from Austin to rescue us, Riley. And then she had to stay over again.
Now, Doug, as the tower and the fixer, right? Are you the one?
No, she's a good. She's a good.
Is she a
shower.
good wrencher as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, she'll jump right in and.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, I think one of the things a lot of people, when they look at the mystique of the travel trailer and traveling around America, one of the problems that happens with the many videos is they talk about the good stuff.
Oh.
But,
Oh yeah.
it's like anything else. You have your machinery, you have mechanical things. Your home, maybe a shingle blows off or the electric goes out. There's no difference. You just, it's a different adjustment.
Right.
How have
Yeah,
you felt
yeah.
that's been for you?
beyond the first shaky start with brakes not working and then a tire blowout and having to replace all that.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we haven't had a lot of trouble, which has
Oh,
been
good.
Yeah.
really
Excellent.
pretty good.
And I think this is most people find out.
Major.
Well, we have-
Other than a leak,
We have 2
a
major
little
leaks.
leak in the roof, you got to figure out.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the van.
You guys also said you
Right.
owned a boat.
We did.
And I think
Yeah.
that's a good introduction to this kind of thing because, with any kind of thing, you have to maintain it. Things are going to crop up, and you have to learn to be flexible.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta be able to-
Yeah.
We've made
You
coffee.
respond to that well
Make
when
sure
I
it's-
say that. Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's always going to be something that comes up.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned to make coffee 6 different ways.
Yes.
Yes.
That's kind of crucial.
Yes. Coffee is very crucial.
You should see.
Nothing
We can
happens
do
till
coffee
coffee.
all
Yeah,
different ways
depending
because
on whether
depending
you
on
have,
what we have available.
power or not.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Well, as a mechanical thing, what I refer to coffee as starter fluid.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
starter
yeah,
fluid
it's-
is.
it's, yeah,
When
it's,
this son of a gun won't start,
Yeah.
get starter
Yeah.
fluid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
get it going.
That's the way it
That's mandatory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I have a
Good morning.
question.
Sure.
On your journey, you're halfway into your 5 months, so you've obviously traveled from Austin, Texas. Today you're in
Halfway across the country.
halfway across the country in California at Lassen National Park. So, what have you seen that you found to be very memorable? 1 or 2 of your most interesting things or disappointing things?
I'll give you a clue. Yosemite.
Well, I don't know
We
if they've
didn't go
been
to
there.
Yosemite.
Oh, you haven't gone to Yosemite?
We did not put Yosemite on the trip. itinerary.
Okay.
So here's one thing that
I
I
think-
struggle with is when a question like that, am I thinking nature? Am I thinking people? Am I thinking traffic?
Absolutely.
sure.
So I have to narrow it. That's where my mind goes, now which topic in there? But
You choose one.
Yeah.
so let's do critters, bugs.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. There
We've
are.
had no
Oh,
mosquitoes.
in terms of.
Oh, you are so lucky.
I don't know. We've been
We've
extremely
had
lucky.
one bad
We-
bug biting flies.
One
Yeah.
place. Where was that? Oh, in Paladuro Canyon, just after we left Austin,
Yes.
up in the
yeah.
Panhandle,
Oh, okay.
where we did this hike and there were biting flies chasing us.
Oh,
for 5
those are
miles
nice,
on the hike.
nasty little things.
But after that, we haven't had.
We've been in Alaska. We've been everywhere.
Well,
And-
just up here in Oregon, we had an experience this year where we went to a place where the mosquitoes were so thick.
Oh, they were awful.
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
went to
they
walk
were,
to the creek,
you know,
and the swarms
an inch
followed you.
apart.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and I
that
don't know
gets
why
scary.
It's so different
Yeah.
because there's water,
Just
Yeah.
the
All
right
the
time
places
of the
we've been,
year,
there's
you
water.
know. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
fully expected
Lots
a
of
lot of
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes in some of the places.
Oh, but that's nice.
I know.
What
Yeah,
a
it's
treat.
been
So that's a
wonderful.
treat.
That is a good
And
thing.
we refer back to, Paladura, how we were being bitten by the black flies. We ended up putting mud. For some reason, they were getting the tender side of the back of the
Oh, yeah, that'll
knees.
work. Yeah.
So we put mud as we were hiking.
Well, many people may not know about mud. I think the natives and many of the early people often used mud as a way to protect themselves from insects and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's basic knowledge that's important to have in hand when you go
Yeah.
camping.
yeah. You go off without your repellent, and
Yeah,
it's miserable. And you got to figure out a way to
yeah.
do something. Yeah.
So another thought on that, a pleasant surprise.
Mhm.
No, not pleasant. No. A surprise was Father's Day. I'm trying to tee Doug up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
What
So,
happened Father's
Doug-
Day?
Father's Day.
How did Father's
Okay.
Day go for you?
Where were
Well, I'm trying to remember where we were.
Oh, it was obviously
Wait a
memorable then, wasn't it?
Now I'm in trouble.
we? This is G-rated.
Yeah.
Father's Day.
We froze.
We were-
It was 25 mile per hour winds with
Oh.
snow, and we were not prepared.
That's right.
And we're backpacker campers. We think we have it all, but we didn't bring our down sleeping
in
bags because
Yellowstone.
Sure. It was
Snow.
summer.
Ooh, yeah.
in Yellowstone.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
Yellowstone, it can snow anytime.
They were even surprised.
Oh,
We
I
were
mean,
there
it went
once in
from-
July and it
yeah.
had snow.
snowing in July.
And it wasn't a little bit of snow. The entire table was covered.
Yeah.
And so we were at 85, 87. We have a little thing, 87, and then 2 days later, And the 25
Yeah.
mile per hour winds were
Oh, that's
horrible
cold.
for fishing.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's miserable.
But that's when you get in the trailer and you play dominoes or cards or something of that nature.
Stayed
That's not
in,
what we
or
did.
drove down
To a lower
the
elevation.
Tetons,
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
we did.
right?
Yeah.
It took it
Well, we
the
also tried to
one
fish
day.
in it.
Oh, we tried to fish one day from the kayak.
And we froze.
That was miserable. But I think the next day we decided we're going just
South.
a little bit lower elevation.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. It was sunny and
Warm.
and much warmer.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Tetons were beautiful.
We have a couple people that we follow on YouTube, and their whole thing is, like you said, what do you want to do? Their whole thing is, where's it going to be 70 next?
Right.
Right.
That's where they go.
And they look at the
Follow
weather and they look at the air, and they follow 70 degrees all around the country.
Well, think how smart that is. Then you're
Yeah,
not
that's
using
ideal,
electricity for an AC, nor
Yeah.
using something
Yeah.
for heat. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one more fun thing,
Yes.
a surprise, a good surprise, was when we went to, we were staying at Doug's brother and sister-in-law in Tacoma and decided to go check out the San Juan Islands.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
Made a trip up there
fabulous.
to Lopez Island.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So kind of a lesser known little island there.
yeah, yeah.
It's not as commercialized.
Oh, nice.
Actually, a lot of agriculture.
Yeah.
Little farms
Yeah.
and small town, but not a whole lot
Rich.
there.
Yes. Yeah,
So it's beautiful.
Oh, how
Beautiful
nice.
spot.
yeah.
I would say rich in culture,
That's kind of thing.
rich
Yes.
in simplicity.
Yes.
Not simple people, but just keeping your life simple. Also rich in new things to see.
And a slower speed.
Hard speed if you're on a bike. It was really hard cycling.
That's right. Because we took the ferry.
Yeah. Oh, took
Oh,
your
and
bikes
you
with
took
you.
your bikes.
Yeah.
Just the bike.
Okay.
So
We
we
rode our bikes to the bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
So
nice.
we rode from the ferry landing
How far was
to the
that?
little B&B.
1,001 miles.
Oh, I think it turned out to be about a 15-mile ride.
Oh, a lot of hills,
Oh,
up and
Up
down.
and down.
It was
On mountain
it was
bikes.
it was billed as the least hilly of the San Juan Islands.
Oh,
all right.
Okay. Yeah.
It's still extremely hilly, right?
Sucked right in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this is a nice flat.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna know.
Yeah.
well,
and
I
that's
think
how it
that's-
was sold to me.
Yeah. But
So
that's
that's
the other
good.
part of adventure, I think. And that's part of what this is about, is adventure. You get out and you try things. You go places where you might have not ordinarily done. Sometimes they work. Sometimes they don't.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We had been to the San Juans many years ago
Oh, had you? Yeah.
to one of to Orcas.
Yeah. Long
Yeah.
time ago.
And so so wanted some try something different. And so it was really nice.
So can I share one
might-
that didn't work?
Yeah,
Yes.
just
So you were saying sometimes things don't go right,
Oh, yeah.
and being adventuresome and going with the flow. Well, somewhere along the line, someone had told us about a lovely little town and area called Bonners Ferry.
Okay.
So we
Yeah, it was a family we met in it's Swan Lake Campground
and where?
in Montana.
What
They were
state
they were
is
headed
this?
up there, and they said, "We're going to Bonners Ferry, Idaho,
Oh,
like
Idaho.
in the far north
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
of
Okay.
the Panhandle."
Yeah.
So we weren't sure what our route was going to be. We thought, well, let's just go head up that way. They thought it was going to be an
And
interesting spot.
and
And it turned out to be an interesting place. We found this little Forest Service campground.
because I was being crazy
Um,
frugal and didn't want to spend money and go to a campground that was full of campers.
no, yeah, no,
you
yeah.
try to
we
find, We
understand.
try to find those little
Oh, yeah.
more out of the way places. So this was a Forest Service campground, free,
Sure.
like 7 sites in the whole place, 7
Yeah.
or 8 sites,
Mhm.
tiny, all little.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those around.
And we got up there, and the camp host it was his first time I'd had a camp host there, and he was kind of assigned to clean house a bit because they had a lot of people come up there
Oh,
and staying
yes.
for months.
Yeah.
It's
unattended.
that's become a problem around the country, believe it or not.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was kind of the sheriff in town for the Forest Service, trying to keep
Small town sheriff.
people out.
Oh,
And,
geez.
Yeah, we met. There's some interesting people we met there.
So Doug Barter, we ran out, well, because it said it had water, but then when we got there was no water.
Well,
The water pump had been shut off.
Right. They didn't have water.
So Doug's such a awesome fisherman. One of the campsites over had a bunch of water, and the story is now that he bartered water for fish. But what happened, it was just a natural thing.
Yeah.
He had some extra fish and went and offered it, and they're like, we have water. Like, this is
yay.
great.
They were leaving. They had extra water left over. And
Okay,
so
sure.
You want some water, so
Yeah. Okay.
filled up. So we run out a little bit low.
So the night before we left, a group came in to the right. It was 4 women, 1 young daughter, and I caught wind of it because they were very loud. And I mean, these campsites were giant. Like, you couldn't even see, over to the next one. But they were super loud, and they were setting up the tents, and it was all odd, but they kept yelling at the teenage girl, which concerned me and upset me. And so I perked up and listened more, and then I started watching them, and then all of a sudden they picked up the tents and moved to another side on the left of us, which is okay, but there was just something odd about the whole setup. And a really rundown car, and they all poured out of it. Anyway, a little bit later, a truck pulls in, drops off a camper that is falling apart, and he has said something like, I'm not moving this again for you, or something. And so a guy shows up. So all still kind of odd, but not horribly so. I noticed they're trying to start a fire. They don't have wood. We give them our wood. We're like, here, we're leaving. Go ahead and take our wood. And the girls were determined. So then all the girls come back, showered and perfume on.
Oh.
We're camping. There is nowhere to shower.
Our
Radar is going up, and
but
he's
man-
just like, I got something not right.
Yes.
We got 1 guy, 5 girls. Oh, and 5 tents.
And 5'10".
So let's put it this way: they were traveling.
Well, and then the police showed up at 2 a.m.
Yes.
From Coeur d'Alene, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
We found
my
out
goodness.
from the camp host that the police made a visit for
Oh.
some reason. And he said, well, I'm not sure what's going on. They told me they might be back.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
Yeah.
I'm glad we were leaving. And
Yes.
So that was interesting.
that's a good point.
We felt safe there because of this camp host that was there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was dealing with things quite
Yeah.
well. So.
Yeah. But still.
He had a different role than most camp hosts.
Yes, he did. Most
Yes,
Well, and he was
obviously.
very confident in his gun usage,
Oh, well.
and he made that very well known.
Well known on his.
Oh yeah, no, but he was lovely.
Okay.
I mean,
Cool.
he and Doug connected right away. I think making a connection with anybody, even if you don't
Absolutely.
see the same stuff, if you can make a connection somewhere, you can continue to talk about different things.
Yes.
And we loved him. It was lovely.
Cool.
Well,
I have one last question
Okay,
I
go
would
ahead.
love
Yes.
to ask. When you are planning to go to your next place, or if you have, did you plan your whole trip out of saying, I want to go here, 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 and here? Or do you just sort of fly by the seat of your pants and see where you wind up the next day? And how do you choose your campsites?
That's a great question.
That was a good question. So I guess we laid out a general route
yes.
Okay.
to begin with. We knew we wanted to leave Austin, head up through Colorado, Wyoming, Montana,
Mm-hmm.
kind of make a turnaround point in Seattle,
Okay.
Ah, yeah.
and then make our way down this area, although we didn't have Lassen on the list initially.
Okay.
But we knew we wanted to go Hope Valley in California. So we
Okay.
kind of set a few major points along the way.
Okay.
But then a lot of it was left open. We had about 4 places where we kind of knew we wanted to end up and make reservations ahead of time.
Okay.
Like Yellowstone, it was hard to get.
But yeah.
Oh,
you-
yes.
So the few
Yellowstone,
places we
yeah.
had to
Well,
do that.
and-
But then we left it pretty wide open, and so we've done a lot of things. We've done Harvest Host.
Okay.
Oh, you have done some.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Good.
haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
We've been looking forward to
Lovely.
That's been
Yeah.
wonderful.
that. Yeah.
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 So you just
Yeah.
need a night
That's great.
place to stop.
So I think we had
Wineries,
Palo Duro, and then we knew we need to be in Yellowstone. Then we made it up in between, and that's nerve-wracking to do that sometimes,
Yeah.
especially in the middle of summer. You're going to get somewhere and you don't know if you're going to have a reservation, or you're going to have to move campsites. So then we went from there to Yellowstone, up to Tacoma to visit with his brother and sister-in-law, and then we had Harris State Beach in Oregon, which
Beautiful
we
spot.
wish we
Beautiful
was.
spot.
We only got 4 days, but we loved it, and we were
Yeah.
happy to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then someone said we need to go to Crater Lake. So we just rerouted and went to Crater Lake.
Cool.
But then we had reservations down in Hope Valley, California. And then we actually left there early. We're going to go back and help our sister-in-law. She's having some surgery. And then someone said we need to come to Lassen. So
So here you
Excellent.
are.
Yes.
Perfect.
now one
Yeah,
downside.
so we kind of winged it, especially with,
Okay.
with Crater Lake and Lassen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
really on the official